we back. Lakers week 2 recap. Make sure I hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. But the Lakers, man, fantastic week. The Lakers had 4-0, perfect week. Moved our record to 6-2. Now we're sitting at number 2 in the Western Conference, only behind the Thunder, who are undefeated. But it was a fantastic week. We won games. Luka came back like a game early. We won games without Luka. We won a game without Luka and AR. And guys are just stepping up and filling their roles. How they supposed to. DeAndre Ayton was a monster against Portland, as he was supposed to be, 29-10. And that's what I was saying. When you have guys missing, you're going to have times where DA can go off and go be that guy and go be the scoring punch that we need him to be. And not only in that game was it just him, but Rui finished, also joined him with 20 in that game. Nick Smith in the second half, 25 points that he finished with. But especially in that fourth quarter. In that fourth quarter, he had 10 points by himself and really won the Lakers a game, and with the dagger as well. And that's what you need, man. The Lakers are deeper than we've been in recent years. These are not games that we could have won previously. Before Luka Doncic got here, we were not winning these games. If LeBron wasn't playing well, if AD wasn't playing well, we wasn't winning these games. But now we got guys that can come in and that contribute consistently. And that's the biggest thing that I've seen this year is our consistency. Guys are starting to fill into their roles. You don't really know what teams are going to be like, so we start getting 20, around this 15 to 20. Now you kind of start getting the form of what they're going to be, what they're going to do. So now we're 8 games in. Now guys are starting to get into them roles. Marcus Smart finally getting healthy, getting his role, being the agitator, getting the Lakers extra plays, getting the Lakers out in transition off of his deflections. He's starting to get in his groove. Jake LaRavia, what bad can we say about Jake LaRavia? He stepped up, especially when guys have been out of the lineup. He stepped up, but when they're in there, he's playing in the passing lane, making his 3-point ball, playing defense. He's been contributing. Man, we just got contributions all over the place, and it's a very good thing to see as a Laker fan, because we haven't had the depth to do this. JJ is fully comfortable resting not only Luka but AR at the same time, and feeling confident that we can go get dubs against teams. Keep in mind, we beat Portland without them. Portland before that game was 4-2 as well. Same record as us going into that game, with wins over a team like Denver when Denver was fully healthy. And they put a lot of pressure on the ball, Portland does. They pick up full court the entire game. And for us to be able to beat that pressure, considering our top 3 ball handlers are all out, because Bron obviously is out, and as I mentioned, Luka and AR weren't playing in that game, and we were able to consistently go get points. We put up 130 without those guys playing. That's what I'm saying. When we get contributions like this, it allows for our margin of error, which is a big point that I want to touch on. Our margin of error is bigger now than it's been probably since our championship year in 2020. We can afford to we can win games now when we're not at our best. We can win games now when guys aren't we can win games when we're turning the ball over. We can win games when the shots aren't falling. We can win shootouts. We can win defensive battles. We can do this kind of thing. Before, it was we need all of our guys clicking, because for one, our defense wasn't great, or if our defense was great, the offense wasn't great. Now we can pick us up whichever way we need it. If our offense isn't great, our defense been able to pick us up at times and get us easy opportunities in transition to make easy offense. And so that's a trend that I love seeing. To stay on that point, passing lanes. The Lakers have played very well in passing lanes. Our on-ball defense, I would love to see that improve just a little. We haven't been terrible. But I would love to see that pick up a little bit more. I think when we get Bron back in the lineup and we have more big wings, I think that's what runs us into trouble. We got a lot of small guys. So a lot of guys are able to, our on-ball defense, a lot of guys are able to get past us, post us up, whatever, back us down. So I think when we get Bron back and more bigger wings, if DK, if we could give Jared Vanderbilt DK's offense, at least his offensive ability, because DK hasn't played super efficiently, especially from 3, which I think he's going to have to, if he wants to ultimately stay on the court, he's going to have to be able to knock down the 3 ball, because while I think his defense has improved slightly, it hasn't improved enough to where you can rely on him to play constant minutes if he's not giving you offense. He's one of those players, he's got to give you offense to stay on the court, because if not, he's a cone on defense. So I think we need one more bigger wing. I like DK, and I love this, and I think he still has good potential, but I don't know if he can meet that potential with us. I think the problem is, though, now his trade value is kind of diminished. So I don't know what we would get for him right now. But if we could somehow get a guy like a Herb Jones for DK, obviously there'd be more compensation and trading within that. But just being able to get a guy like Herb Jones, that's a guy that I think can complete this Laker roster. Another big solid wing. We had Dorian Finney-Smith. If he was still here, it'd be fantastic. He'd be the perfect fit. But obviously, he wouldn't have got a lot of money. Also, I don't know if I would have wanted the Lakers to have paid him that, considering if he was like 27 is one thing, but he's like 32, 33 already. So he got like a good 3-year contract with a lot of money in it, which hey, I ain't hating. But I don't know if I would have wanted the Lakers to pay for that. So I think that's one thing. I'll touch on our margin for error already. Offensive guys found their roles. And yeah, we're winning games, and our three ball is yet to like really be consistent. Like Rui's been pretty consistent. Jake Laravia started heating up recently, but for the most part, our three we haven't been like super efficient from three, and we're winning games. We get a lot of paint points, which I love. Luka puts pressure on the rim. AR puts pressure on the rim. EA is good especially when we're finding mismatches, because he's always going to get mismatches in this offense. Because of the way people are going to have to guard AR and LeBron and Luka and LeBron when he gets back. They're going to always they're going to have to pick their poison. Obviously, they're going to rather DA have the ball, but he's fantastic. He's one of the better players at punishing mismatches. He doesn't give mismatches like the time to recover or whatnot. He's pretty good at converting in those opportunities. So that's one thing I've noticed. And so once our three ball gets going, I think our offense will really pick up even more than it has. And our offense hasn't been bad. And we're doing it without a large portion of threes that a lot of teams use to build their offense. So ours haven't been falling like that. It's fallen when we needed it to, but it hasn't. We haven't put together a game where it's like our threes are just falling. So when that starts to click, that's another thing that's going to improve our offense. Another point on DeAndre Ayton, man. His ability to protect the rim, I love. I wish Jackson Hayes had more of that. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Jackson Hayes found more time on the bench than playing, because he gets lost a lot on defense, and I think he needs to do a better job of rebounding. If you watch that Portland game, there was like 3-4 possessions in a row that Portland got right to them, like throwing lobs right in the middle. And I think we were sitting in zone, and JJ calls timeout, and he's like fuming at Jackson Hayes. And Jackson Hayes has a lot of those mistakes defensively. He's a great rim runner on offense for us. He's a good screener. Sometimes, a lot of times, he gets offensive fouls on his screens as well. But he's a guy that I don't know if he locks in fully on defense to where I feel like he's just rolling out there. Like he's kind of just moving and trying to be active, but he doesn't do it in a smart kind of way. And a lot of times he gets himself out of position. So that's something is going to be, I think if he ultimately cannot give us those consistent good defensive minutes, I don't know how. I think they're going to look. That'll be something that the Lakers might be looking for come the deadline, is like another backup center that can bring us both the rim running threat that Jackson Hayes gives us, but also is more sound on defense. So that's something to pay attention to. But yeah, man, DA's protected the rim. Jax touched on that. So yeah, man, the Lakers week was good. That's what I had on. We beat Memphis. That was a good W. And now we get to go into week 3. We're at 6-2, second in the West, as I mentioned, only behind the Thunder. And in this week, we got the Spurs, the Hawks, and the Hornets. We should win at least 2. We should beat the Hawks because I believe Trae Young is out. So we should definitely not lose to the Hawks, and we should beat the Hornets as well. The only game that should be tough should be the Spurs game, and we should be able to beat them too. But I do want to say, in this Spurs game, there's no way to stop Wemby. There's no perfect way to guard him. But what I would do, I would not give Wemby any space. I'm going to make Wemby try to put the ball on the floor. That's your best chance, and then you can and I might even put a smaller guy on him, especially if he's at the perimeter. Obviously he can shoot and whatnot, but I'm going to make him shoot 10, 15 threes a game. I don't want him in the paint dominating me all night, because I know at that point, if he's in the paint all night, he's at very few is he going to miss it. If he misses, it's very likely he's going to get the rebound. If I can keep him out on the perimeter, obviously he's going to make some of his threes 7 for 5. Nobody can really contest it. But I would try to get underneath it. I might even start the game with a Rui on him, so we can get underneath him and not allow him to necessarily dribble and get his game off. I'm going to apply as much pressure as possible. So make him shoot shots and make him shoot long twos. I'm not going to let him and if he's in the post, I'm bringing a double. I'm not going to let him just bow down and back us down. And I'm a double in the post when he's there, and I'm giving him heavy pressure if he's at the 3-point line. But he's going to have pressure everywhere he goes. Somebody should be on him everywhere he goes. He should not get an easy post up, and he shouldn't be able to just have the ball and be dribbling. Everything should be tight and tough. That's what I would do to guard Victor Wembanyama. Because, as I mentioned, there's no way to guard him. He can do everything on a basketball court. But at his size, even though he can dribble, I want him there with the smaller guy because it's going to be harder for him to stay that low to keep his dribble from being ripped or taken or poked away. Pressure everywhere. That's what I'm doing. Pressure him at the 3-point line. I'm pressuring him all the way up the court. I'm pressuring him if he's trying to get in the post. If he gets the ball in the post ultimately, I'm sending him the double. That's what we're gonna. I'm sending pressure at him all the time. And then we're gonna have to make other guys are gonna have to figure out what to do off of that. But we're not gonna let Victor Wembanyama go and beat us. That's what I would do. And that was kind of my last point in this Laker recap. So yeah, man, that was Laker week 2. Let me know how y'all feel about our Lakers, man. 6-2, man. It's like this. I haven't had this much confidence in a while. Probably since the year after our championship, where we started off very great and we just had a bunch of injuries, then ultimately they tore it down to trade for Russ. But I haven't had this much confidence in the Lakers since then. And right now we're balling, and this is still when we have not been whole yet. Obviously, Gabe Vincent's still out, still no Bron. Guys in and out of the lineup, giving Luka rest days, and understandably so. But we're finding ways to win, and that's what matters, and that's what's showing. And being 6-2 this early in the season, as I said, we should win 2 of these next 3. So if we win, let's just say we win 2 of the next 3, that takes us to 8-3 through our first 11 games, plus 5 games above 500. And we're not putting ourselves in a hole. Allow Bron to come back, not have to rush guys back. And that's another thing about having this depth. We haven't had to rush guys back. Haven't had to rush guys back. Allow them to get fully healthy while we're still winning games. Because if you start losing, guys feel the pressure to like, oh, I got to get back so we can win. But when guys are stepping up and they're able to hold down the fort until a guy can get back fully healthy, that's what we want. And so far, our first 2 weeks, we've done that. We want to stay healthy. We don't want no more injuries. But man, I'm loving what I'm seeing, man. Nick Smith, bro. He might find him way into some playing time, especially with Gabe Vincent out. I said that in the preseason, though, man. I said it in the preseason. Like he impressed me in the preseason, and in that game against Portland, he had a chance to show it. That's a guy like Gabe Vincent's on the last year of his deal with the Lakers. I'm pretty sure Nick Smith will be a guy that we can kind of put right into that Gabe Vincent role, and he's got a little more creativity in his game. To where Gabe Vincent is more of like he can do a little bit off the dribble, but he's more of a spot up guy. At least he has been with us. Nick Smith Jr. got a little wiggle, got a little juice, got a little handle. So as we saw, he can go get it by himself as well as spot up, and he play defense. So I love what I've seen. We got guys that we can move forward with. Oh, I'll be remiss to not mention Bronny James. We've seen the evolution. We've seen the evolution is coming. Like obviously there's steps that he still got to take. As I said, I'm on TikTok. If y'all make sure y'all to follow the TikTok. But as he gets more time in playing consistently, the jump shot's gonna come along because I believe he can shoot. But we knew where his immediate impact was, and that was on the defensive end. And what he's doing, he can get into passing lanes. He D's up. He's a pest. Like Marcus Smart is a perfect guy for him to learn from. That was another reason I loved him. Aside from Marcus Smart just being able to actually contribute himself, what he was going to do to a guy like Bronny is going to be immense. Like Bronny needed that guy. He can learn the little tricks of the trade. Bronny can literally be Marcus Smart, and I think he has more chance of having more off. And I think he can develop a more complete offensive game than Marcus Smart. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, man, that was Laker week 2. I'll be back for Laker week 3, and we're gonna tap in. But make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Until next week, we out.